This is my new friend Dan Conrad. Did I get that right, Dan? Yeah. Give him a round, guys. Give him a round. Welcome, my friend. Thanks for coming, brother. It's all yours.
Thanks, bud. Hello, my name is Dan Conrad, and let's get this out of the way right off the bat. I have a lisp. It never really bothered me that much until about a year ago. True story. I saw myself on a video, and to be honest, I kind of freaked out. I mean, I sound like a strangled squirrel. Like, how emasculating is that, for God's sake? So I ran home and consulted that oracle of higher learning that I love, YouTube, and I typed in, "get rid of lisp." And the first one that came up was a speech seminar by Dr. Susanna Sussman. Yeah, go fuck yourself. But the next guy actually had the same kind of lisp as me. It was really cool. I didn't even have to watch the whole thing. He said, a lisp like mine, where the jaw moves slightly side to side, it's very hard to get rid of because it's caused by an oversized tongue. What? So, I can live with that. Now when I'm at the YMCA and there's a guy strutting around trying to impress women with his muscles, I'm like, bro, do you even lisp? Thank you. So I work at the nuclear plant. I'm a training specialist. I've been there for 27 years. Everyone there says I'm the man. Now, it's not that I'm particularly good at anything, but the rest of the instructors are gender fluid. Like, oh, Dan? He's the man. Turned 50 last year, and happens to everyone, I guess. But it seems to me like everybody else my age had more time to kind of get used to the idea. 5 years ago, I was just getting out of rehab after like an 8-year binge. And I mean binge. Like the night before I checked into treatment, I took all the booze I had left and a bunch of pills, and I dumped them down the drain. Did I say drain? Because I meant throat. I gotta say that getting sober in your mid-40s is kind of like waking up from a 200-year coma and realizing that your powdered wig and your pantaloons are no longer considered sexy. Oh, why do the fine ladies not part of their petticoats? And it doesn't help that I can't really dress my age very well. But I do know what I like when I see it. Like the other day I was saying, have you ever noticed that some people can be really touchy about compliments, especially women? Like all I said was, hey, I wish I could pull off your son's shorts. And I can't blame Owen Sound. I can't blame Owen Sound for me being simple, but goddamn, like this city is so small. My neighbors have opinions about my lawn. Like, another true story. One guy actually complained that my unkempt yard was affecting his property value, and I had said, sir, I assure you, being the site of Owen Sound's only chainsaw beheading will not help it either. Like, no realtor wants to show the murder house, right? Oh, well, this room was just redone in cardiac red. But it just so happens that I was able to spend a lot of time in Toronto this past summer, and man, there's so many beautiful women there, and a decent proportion of them appear to be above the age of 35. Like, at the Owen Sound Y, I could be chemically castrated just for making eye contact. Like, is this machine free? I'm 25, you creep. Like, who the fuck asked you that? This is a public gym. This is a weight room, and I believe I can fly. Okay. Probably not the best tune to be muttering around younger women, though. Oh. Did anybody else see that documentary? I was so disappointed. That guy was my favorite pirate rapper. Arr, Kelly. It's like, help. Okay. Actually, I do get asked out at the Y quite a bit, more than you'd expect, probably. Unfortunately, it only ever happens in the men's locker room. So, yeah. So that's why I try to hang out in the women's locker room. It's a marketing issue, really. But another true story, I wish it wasn't. One gentleman asked me out, we're all butt naked, in front of a room full of dudes, asked me out while greasing up the brown spider with preparation H. And I'm like, I try to be a compassionate gentleman, but there's no polite way to say, fuck no. And please don't misunderstand. I'm not the least bit homophobic. I mean, your choices, as long as you're not hurting or exploiting anybody else, I don't care. If you're into autoerotic asphyxiation, knock yourself out. I hurt myself. No, I tend to be fairly conventional myself, but growing up on the farm, I think I was a little bit sheltered. Like I missed out on a lot of stuff. I recently found out what a blumpkin was. Does anyone not know what a blumpkin is? Well, ask somebody beside you. I'm not going to retroactively ruin your childhood by telling you. But maybe I'm just a little bit sheltered growing up, but I always thought the worst thing you could do was fart during oral sex, which is illegal in Quebec. That's a $90 fine right there. Right? Well, maybe I'm just naive, so I asked my friends, and no, it's bumpkins and mudslides and hot lunches and Cleveland steamers. There's a whole world of shit out there, right? And thanks to Doug Ford cutting our sex ed curriculum, the children are not going to learn about any of this in school, right? So that's not really my cup of tea, but you know what really kind of cracks me up? Furries. You ever heard of furries? Yeah? Isn't that awesome? That's awesome. So if you don't know, they're full-grown consenting adults, and they dress up like cute cartoon animals and play Pokemon Go to town on me with other people similarly dressed. And I don't know, I've never tried it, but I've always been curious, do you think they go for bikini waxing and manscaping beneath the costumes? Yeah, seems a little hypocritical. I like to think that they grow out the junk shrubs and dye them to match their costume, like Pikachu yellow or Elmo red or Snuffleupagus brown will be a cinch, right? That's for guys, right? Oh, God, help me. Anyway, Heartwood, Matt, thank you very, very much for giving me a shot. And
nice, man, not bad. Thank you, brother. Keep it going for Dan, guys. Yeah. Man, this is why I do this. I met Dan on the street half an hour ago.